So I'm just checking to see if there's animals back in the back of the property. All right. Look, there's all this green grass. There we go. They know what's going on. Good morning, guys. How's it going? What's up? Mark here at the 10 Acre Woods, and today there's going to be a few less woods by the end of the day. We've been coming up with this idea for quite a few years. We haven't got around to actually doing it, but this is the year, the time, the day that it's going to happen. And what it is these trees right here. So these are some older trees. They're poplar. Poplar, they grow up tall and skinny and then just fall over. And the concern is that they're going to fall over on our vehicles. So these are our truck and car killers. Our prevailing winds come from that direction. So everything blows this way. And you know, we've messed around with it long enough. It's time for these tall ones to come down. We also have some plans to put in, just on the other side of where this truck is here, a garage. So we're going to build it out of wire framing, similar to what we've done over here for the greenhouse. But we've got all these guys that we don't want in the work area. So we're thinking the garage is going to go kind of right in here. So we'll have to level this out. We'll have to redo some of the electric fencing. And we're going to have to animal management these guys here. So this video is sponsored in part by Gallagher Electric Fence and Gallagher Animal Management. So we're going to use some of their equipment. You may have saw a couple weeks ago I used the smart fence. So we're going to hook that up in the back to segregate the animals from coming back here. We're also going to disconnect most of the main line and hook up a Gallagher switch to cut off the power to this end line here. So we'll get started. All right, so we're out at the animal enclosure, the rabbit area. There they go, they're going outside onto their patio. This is where I have my electric fence charger. So I'm going to disconnect this and we'll hook up that switch. I've talked about this before. This is the Gallagher M1100. I like this unit because of those lights that are there. They tell me just at a glance how my fence charger is doing. If I have a load or a tree or something that's fallen onto the fence, I may not get those two top green lights. I may just get one. I may even just get a yellow. So I know there's something up with this. So I'm a visual learner, I guess you could say, and I just like looking at a glance. So that's why I have that guy. So I'm just going to unplug this. Now this charger charges the entire farm. So it goes out. I've just got a wire here for a negative. You don't have to have an insulated wire. The insulated wire is this guy here, which is your positive. That goes down and out, and then outside the building it goes to the back and then to the front section. So that is that. We'll now go and hook up our switch. Tara's doing some final cleanup here in the background. This is the switch here, so it's the Gallagher cutoff switch. And it's exactly what it is. It's a switch. So, but it's meant for electric fence system. So this bottom plate just comes off, and then underneath you've got your connections here. And all you're doing is you're disrupting the power from going in, so you can actually turn it off just like a regular switch. What's interesting is it comes with 2 screws on the back, which I didn't even realize, so that's kind of handy. Now, if you look closely, you can see that it is it's a Phillips and common head. Tara, what kind of screw head do we use here in Canada?
Square one, the middle one.
Square one. No, what's it called?
Robertson.
A Robertson. Okay, it's taken Tara a long time to learn that. The square one, the straight one. So yes, here in Canada we use the Robertson. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a square one. And it's very interesting because Tara's father was down in Yuma. They had a place in Yuma for a while. And he actually was building a deck, and he had to take a full container of Robertson screws and bits down to Yuma, of course, because you can't buy them down there. I don't know what it is about squares. It's got 4 straight edges. It doesn't seem to jump out like if you have it on a drill. If you have a common flat head or a Phillips, which is a plus sign or time sign. People call them stars, but those are actually Torx drives. Then they seem to jump out. Robertsons seem to stay in, and you can drill them in pretty good without them popping out. So we're going to go over. We're going to test the fence, make sure I shut it off. You always want to do that, and then we're going to hook up this this switch. Hey Turbo, what are you doing? What are you doing, buddy? Okay, so the trees we're going to drop are those ones all right in that area there, possibly even this one right next to Turbo. So this is the end of the line. Oh, here comes the alpaca too. This is the end of the line, meaning that the power comes through here and ends just over at the garden. So this is a gate we don't really use. It's a spring gate, so it's pretty easy to you know, just disconnect and then gain access without electrocuting yourself, because it is insulated. We've put these extra wires down here just as a deterrent. They're actually not energized. They're hooked up to the tree. And yes, we have used trees to secure our electric fencing. We plant more trees than we lose due to this. So as you can see, this tree is still, you know, doing fine. We've probably had this fence here for at least 10 years, if not longer. So what we're going to do is we have the power that comes in through the fencing line here. Then we have this insulated one here. So you need to use an insulated one when passing a gate. So this is hooked up to the main line, and then it goes down. It goes under the ground, and then it comes up right here. And the reason for that is if you rely solely on the wire of the gate, when you disconnect that, then the entire line is de-energized. So, you know, if you've got a farm and you've got equipment that you have to get through, you could leave that spring gate open for some time, and the rest of the fencing is de-energized. So having that as just a bypass that comes around. So what we're going to actually do is we're going to hook up the switch on that line right there, which is the main line, and we're going to cut the power off that way. So now that we have our power back on the Energizer, we want to check our fence to make sure everything's working properly. This is the Gallagher fault finder, which works really well for that. This is the device that I wish I had known about sooner, years ago, because it actually tells you in which direction your problem or your fault is on the line. If there's a tree that's fallen, you don't have to walk your entire fence line. This can actually give you an idea as to where the problem is. So it does come with a little grounding piece here, grounding lead that just snaps on, and that just goes into the ground. and you turn it on, and I'm showing 8 kilovolts. So I'm showing 8,000 volts on the line. Now, it does sound like a lot. 120, 240 is in your house, but it's the amperage that kills a person or an animal. So this is an extremely low amperage, and it's an instantaneous shock. So in your house, if you were to grab a hold of a power line, you've got continuous power there. It's going to tighten up all the muscles in your hand. You're not going to be able to let go. With this kind of system here, every second it sends out a pulse. So, and one pulse at 8,000 volts is definitely enough to get your attention and back off. I find if you're just looking to find out if there's power on the line, or even, you know, if there is a problem, you don't need the exact voltage. I sometimes don't even use this lead. I'll just take this here. You can put your thumb on the grounding spot there, and I'm getting 7.2 kilovolts, so 7,200 volts. I know the power's on, so I don't necessarily need this unless I need an accurate number. So I know that as soon as I switch this off, it's not going to kill power to the entire fence. And the reason for that is I've built in some redundancy here. You can see there is another lead that goes around and wraps around the other side and hooks up right to here. So this is still feeding the fence. Even though I shut that off, I'm shutting the main off, we're still getting that power running through. The reason why I did this is because for the longest time, we ran into an issue where this line was down for who knows how long. It was because that one at the bottom there had disconnected. So to test the fence, I'm going to have to disconnect these ones here. Okay, so we've disconnected that line. The bottom one actually isn't even connected. So what we're going to do is we're going to shut the power off from the switch, and then we're going to turn on the fault finder and we're going to check it out here. So we're showing 6.5 kilovolts, so 6.6, so 6,600 volts on the line. And that's on all 3 lines. You can see here what I've done is some further redundancy. I've connected all the wires together just in case that I've got one line coming off this one and feeding one line on that side. If there's a problem with that line, then or another line in the system, then I can lose power to some of the other ones and not even realize it. And I have a little light that sits on the fence on a number of locations that flash if the power's down. So just another spot of redundancy. So coming over to this side, I'll turn on my fault finder. It's reading nothing, and it's reading nothing. So 1, 2, and 3. And we just want to make sure, if you don't believe me, I'll just come back over here, and there it is again. There's our 6,000 volts. So now we are isolated. It's just this section of fencing that is down, but the entirety of the other system is all up. We're going to use the smart fence anyway and cut off a section so the animals don't get back here with these trees. So most of the animals are up here. It looks like the alpaca and maybe a couple sheep. So we're gonna have to call them in back to this area so we can isolate everything and make sure they're safe. Come on, Bacchus! Come on! Oh no, I didn't mean you guys. You guys aren't alpacas. Fernando! Oh, here they come. Come on, kids! Come on, Bacchus! They've come, but are they gonna stay? Well, we'll have to see. I guess I should have been more stealthy in the beginning, because now they're all wandering back here. But makes no difference. So what I'm going to do is, this is, if you haven't seen it, this is the Gallagher Smart Fence. And it has It has plastic poles here. There's 10 of them or 9 of them plus the main base. And then it's got a 4-wire system. Works like a deep sea fishing rod, I guess you could say. So they're all locked in here. It's a nice simple package. What we're gonna do is, here is our electric fence that is live. And we're going to run the fence, I figure, straight through there. Now, of course, we've got animals on this side, which may make things a little more difficult. We'll see how things go. And then we'll call them in. But of course, by putting a fence along here, they're not gonna know and they may get a little confused. So we'll see how it goes anyway. Come on, Bubba. Come on, Boo. Come on, guys. So as I was putting up the smart fence, Tara let the animals in here. Looks like they're not all in here. But look, actually, it doesn't look like there's any goats in here at all. The goats are all over there. Come on. Come on, kids. Come and get it. Look, there's all this green grass. There we go, they know what's going on. Come on. Billie Jean and Holly. The 2 younger ones. I guess they're taking the greatest amount of time. So no, we haven't mowed this in probably a decade. With the recent rain that we've had to grow this grass, it's just exploded. So it's time to get these guys working for us. We usually put them in here for probably an hour, maybe an hour and a half a day. You don't want to give them too much green after they've been on hay. Because then their poops just get runny and it's just not good. You know, they really enjoy it, but of course in moderation. So I'm just checking to see if there's animals back in the back of the property. All right, good job, Tara. You've only got a few more to go. There you go.
I feel like a juggernaut.
So it's now the next morning. So we got rained out a few times yesterday. It was off and on rain showers throughout the day. We managed to get a good chunk of it taken out here. We still have these ones here, so there's quite a bit left. We're going to leave that until next weekend and slowly work into this area here. So what we've done is we took all the top branches and we put them all into this area here. Now, since the animals were in the dog run yesterday, they had their fill of green. we decided we were going to leave the smart fence up and leave them out of this area until now. So it appears we can't get anything past them as soon as they see us. As soon as they see us, they're, yeah.
Hi, Boo.
They're wondering what's going on. Why are you coming from this side of the gate?
Hi, Boo. Good morning, Boo Boo.
The blank stares on their face. Okay, yeah. Tara's gonna be the camera woman.
All right.
Boo Boo. Hey, Boo Boo, Boo Boo, Boo Boo. Come here, Boo Boo. Hey, Andy. Hi, Glenn. Good morning, Glenn. Good morning, Glenn. Hi, Java. Who's a good boy? Hi, Jasper. Good morning. Oh, okay, Mark's calling me because I'm not paying attention.
I'll tell that to you pick it up and we were
Wait, you want to look back over my shoulder?
No, film me.
No, I look back over my shoulder because they're all following. See, this is why Mark doesn't give me the camera, because I have no clue what I'm doing. All right. Hi, Mark.
All right. So, all we have to do with this guy here is pick it up, tighten up the reel, and reel it in. There we go. We're open for business.
Come on, kids. Come on, kids. Come on, kids. Come look what we did. Trees. Come on, kids. Trees. Trees.
Oh, whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Glenn, what are you doing?
More trees.
Oh, whole smorgasbord. This is going to keep them busy for a while.
Petey! Come on, Petey!
Oh, Petey's coming, Piper? No?
Piper! Come on, Petey!
And Tara's oak here, we had one tree. She really loves the oaks. We had the one tree here that was kind of pushing this oak tree over to the side.
What happens is this one sucks the water because it needs more water. And then you'll see the oak reaching, because what happens is the roots go out to get water, and that's where the tree grows. So the wider the roots, the wider the tree. So this one was reaching that way because this guy's sucking all the water off this side.
Yeah.
So now that this one doesn't need water, it'll go, and it should start reaching both ways. But if you didn't know that, the span of a tree is the width of the roots, which is why. So what happens is when it rains, the tree protects that area and there's more water out there. So that's why the trees grow wider in certain trees. Because that's where the water is.
Except for poplar, they just grow straight up.
He's gonna fall in again.
Well, he's not really.
He wants to roll in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like he's falling
No,
in.
he wants
Paula
to-
was doing the same
He
thing.
wants to roll in it. Things are happy. They do it in fresh hay too.
So I'm going to put my scent on this pile so no one else touches it.
Yeah.
No, yeah. I'll just lie down. That's lazy.
surprised you didn't lie in the middle.
Well, I think that's what he was trying to do.
What do you think, Coco? Is that good? Hey? Gotta get the middle ones.
Well, it's been about an hour now, and it looks like the animals have taken a break. So they know when they've had enough. They're probably over in the main yard chewing their cud, and I'm sure they'll be back again. So if you're interested in any of the Gallagher products or any other Gallagher product for electric fencing for your farm or your future farm or your friend's farm, check out the link down below. I've left a code as well as a link to the Gallagher website. You can save 10% off there by buying online. If you're the kind of person that wants to buy local from the brick and mortar store, then keep that receipt and call the 1-800 number and then just tell them that Mark at the 10 Acre Woods sent you, and they'll give you another 10% off there. So we're just over here finding out what Tara is doing. So this is our well, I guess it used to be.
This was our first rabbit pit cage.
Yeah, and it's our, we've used it as an isolation pen for some time. Now we've got a few different isolation pens around the yard, a little part of our biosecurity. If any animal comes in that has any kind of concern and we need to isolate, that's what we do. So this we haven't used in quite some time. It looks like Tara wants to reuse, repurpose.
Well, and clean it up. The building, like, I mean, you can tell it was our first rabbit. You look at the side.
Yeah, well,
the building's been chewed through.
We've got to redo this shed.
Yeah.
Was the first building ever on the property, and we've got to redo it. So this was down by our large barn, and who knows when it was built. It was built years and years ago. We threw a coat of paint on it years ago, but the shingles need to be done. There's a little window on the side here. So we had brought it down here years ago when we, well, just before we built the house, I guess. And then we built on a section off to the side, and
this tree was planted. It was like 3 inches tall.
Holes in the side. Yeah, well, and
Trees grow fast.
this here we didn't actually plant it, right? It planted itself.
And then I protected it.
Yeah. So it's actually done.
Yeah.
It's actually done really well.
It's in rabbit manure.
Yeah, yeah, no kidding, eh?
But I'll clean it up. There's a nice rock area in here, and I'll just clean it up and open it up to the area. You know, the wild rabbits will still be under here and whatnot. So
Yeah, we usually this little hole right here. That's where the wild rabbits kind of hang out underneath there. So.
This is the before. Well, okay, this is the little bit before. And then I'll show you it next week, and you'll be like,
wow. While Tara's working on that over there, I figured I'd come and show you the garden, give you the Mark tour of the garden. Tara's been harvesting quite a bit in the last week, especially zucchini. There's the one plant right over here that we discussed last week. She put it in really just some rocks and a little bit of dirt, and it's just taken off. So I think she got 7 zucchini off of that one. So there's a whole bunch that we did get from that. I think she's gonna try her hand at zucchini flour. So drying it and then breaking it down into a flour. So we'll see how that goes. Now, other things in here are, so there was some cantaloupe that have been getting eaten by the native species. These ones here seem to be intact. She has kind of cleaned out everything in here. It's getting close to the end of our harvest. This is the catnip that's all kind of cleaned up. The coneflower over here, which I believe is echinacea. So we've done a bunch of harvesting and drying of a lot of items. This is also the next project she's been working on. She put down this landscape fabric. It's a geotextile, same kind of stuff that's used on highways. So it's a really hardy material. She picked these up at Princess Auto. Farm equipment and all kinds of wonderful things for the farm. So she picked up a whole bunch of these. They were on clearance. They came in. Everybody kind of went and jumped on the deal. And Tara, I think, bought about 50 of them. So she's got the base in here. There were some straw bales that were in here. And then she's going to go and take and put dirt on top of that. And this is going to be a base for next season. Once these here, which are the watermelons, once they are harvested, we're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to be building more of these, and as you can see, she has started her way down here. So getting ready for the next season. So the cucamelons are yeah, they're not well, they've stopped growing essentially. They're a little bit. We can go through and harvest all of them up here. You can see how things are starting to die off. Our temperatures at night are starting to get a little cooler. It is now September. So, and this is a type of cucumber. It's a little odd cucumber, but Tara's been growing just strange things, you know, new things that she wouldn't have grown otherwise. So just to kind of get an idea as to what it looks like and how it is. It almost looks like a gourd. And then here is another melon here. So the melons haven't really taken off too much, but it's something. Like I said, it's just something new that she hasn't grown. The raspberries. Hi, George. The raspberries. This is the new growth that's taken off, and as you can see, it's done really well in here. And these raspberries are really good. Are you enjoying them too, George? Whatever goes through the fence, right? Watch it, there's little pricklies on them. It's amazing on how sheep and goat can eat like thorns, and it just doesn't even faze them. Tomatoes, we've been harvesting tomatoes left and right off of these here. You can see there is still a mass quantity of them in here. Some in here are ready to pick. There's some yellow ones in there, and different varieties. So you can see all the different varieties. These, I believe, will turn red. I guess they turn black first. So they are what are they here? A midnight snack. Tomato, I guess maybe that's what it's called. Midnight snack. Which I can understand. So yeah, so the tomatoes are doing really good. We've been having toasted tomato sandwiches. In this area back in here, there's zucchini as well. And she went in and found a whole bunch that were in there. Oh, there's a little birdie. I guess enjoying the fruits of our labor. So yeah. So that is the garden, and those are the animals. I don't know, it looks like they want to go back into the dog run again. What are you guys doing? You can see Paula over there chewing her cud. So she's waiting for dessert, I guess. So coming around to this side of the garden here, these are the apple crisps, which I guess are kind of like cucumbers. I actually haven't had any of those. Tara's thrown a couple to the animals. And then you can see other tomatoes all in here that just need to ripen up. Now Brussels sprouts, somebody called them earth farts at one point. I guess I can understand. Now, in one of the videos I had mentioned that the Brussels sprouts grow down here, which this looks like them here. But they're just tiny, so I don't know how long they take to grow, but you can see right above each stem there is a little sprout. So we may not even bother with these in future years because we don't seem to get anything off of them. And they are pretty massive. So maybe this is the time of year that they do start to grow. So we'll have to keep an eye on these over the next few weeks, month. We didn't get anything last year. The Brussels sprouts that are in the straw are tiny. So, and that just goes to show that the straw alone, the straw bales, it's a neat idea, but it needs some soil in there as well, which is what Tara did here. She put the base in and then put the soil on top of it, and I believe there's also rabbit and alpaca poop in there as well, and that's really helped these ones grow. And more tomatoes down in here, and that is pretty much everything. So I hope you enjoyed this video, a little look on some of the cutting down of the trees and what we have to go through to ensure the animals are out of our way. And that smart fence, I was waiting for it for quite some time, and when it arrived I was like, yes, that's great, because it is an excellent tool. As you can see, we've used it there. We've used it in a number of locations and have many plans for that. So like I said, head over to the Gallagher website. I'll leave the link down below. And I hope you enjoyed this video, learned something, and until next time, have a wonderful week and take care. Bye-bye.